In today's video, we'll be taking a look back at the popular Playhouse Disney / Disney Junior live on stage attraction, looking at the show's history and where are the puppets today. Before we start this video, I would like to give a big shout out to
Nils
G for suggesting today's video topic. Thanks, I really appreciate it. Also, be sure to comment below your favorite childhood show, and feel free to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss out on other awesome puppet content just like this. Playhouse Disney Live on Stage opened at Disney MGM Studios on October 1st, 2001. A similar attraction opened at Disney's California Adventure on April 11th, 2003. According to well-known puppeteer Noel McNeil, better known as the voice and puppeteer of Bear from Bear in the Big Blue House, had said in this Bear in the Big Blue House Defunctland episode that the idea for the show came from
B Corp is the company that makes all those shows like, Sesame Street Live. And I think they were part of like the Ice Capades for a while, but they were part of those arena shows. They were wondering too if Bear would also be a popular attraction for an arena show. So first they did a mall show, a little mall tour. They made this Big Blue House, and it was with Bear and like the puppet characters, but the puppet characters scaled up. It was such a hit that Disney just bought it and put it into the soundstage at the Disney MGM Studios, and it became Bear in the Big Blue House Live. It was a huge success. That's when Disney got the bright idea. We've got a lot of other shows. Instead of like creating separate shows for them, why don't we try and like fit them into the Bear show?
Playhouse Disney Live on Stage brought to life the stars of Disney Channel's Playhouse Disney television shows while entertaining guests young and old with music, songs, and stories that involve the help of young preschoolers. Segments from Roly Poly Oly, Stanley, The Book of Pooh, and Bear in the Big Blue House help provide life lessons to kids.
And Bear became an intro and an outro, and the tying thread was Tutter and the human host.
In early 2008, the attraction featured characters from new popular shows like My Friends Tigger and Pooh and JoJo's Circus. The Bear in the Big Blue House characters made their last appearance in the show on January 2nd, 2008. A similar attraction opened at Walt Disney Studios Park in France on April 4th, 2009. In 2010, the show got upgraded once more and featured other popular shows like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, Handy Mandy, and The Little Einsteins. In the newly revamped show, the host of Playhouse Disney, Casey, and Mickey Mouse bring everyone into the clubhouse to help plan Minnie's surprise birthday party. When Donald, Goofy, and Daisy find their tasks for the party harder than what they thought, Casey suggests drawing on ideas from the characters and stories of other Playhouse Disney friends to help find the solution to their problem. Handy Manny, Little Einsteins, and My Friends Tigger and Pooh use teamwork in their stories with some help from the audience to help accomplish their own tasks. After witnessing all three examples, Donald, Goofy, and Daisy are successful in making Minnie's party the best ever. The Walt Disney World attraction changed to Disney Junior Live on Stage on March 4th, 2011. The show featured Jake and the Neverland Pirates, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, Handy Manny, and The Little Einsteins. Disney California Adventure also changed and upgraded their show to Disney Junior Live on Stage on March 25th, 2011. From there, all the shows followed the same format, with the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse characters starting the show, and other Disney Junior shows would be interchangeable throughout the middle of the show. In 2014, the show would later change to feature popular Disney Junior shows like Doc McStuffins and Sophia the First. On May 26, 2017, Disney Junior Live on Stage was unfortunately replaced by Disney Junior Dance Party. The show featured no puppets, but it did feature live walk-around mascot characters from Disney Junior programming. Now, to answer the main question, what happened to all those original Playhouse Disney and Disney Junior Live on Stage puppets? To find the answer to this question, I ended up reaching out to several knowledgeable sources. A couple replied and told me this. According to one of the reliable sources, they said that they were very confident on knowing the location of the Bear in the Big Blue House Playhouse Disney Live on Stage puppets. After the show had closed for a long time, they were kept in a big rolling box. They would use these puppets for practice and rehearsals. The source said that they were probably still around, end quote. Another reliable source had told me, and I quote, "There is a building offsite from the Disneyland theme park called Miller. It is a building where they repair, paint, fix, and do a lot of 3D printing for things pertaining to things inside the theme park. At the time, they did a lot of puppet fixing. They had a place inside the building where they fixed puppets," end quote. The reliable source also told me, and I quote, that Miller probably had those two big black rolling boxes in their storage area. In those boxes are a lot of the soft puppets, end quote. The source also told me, and I quote, that those puppets would be easy to store because they were very plushy. The source also told me, and I quote, that they were very confident that those puppets were still there and that they had known that those puppets were not used recently, but they had not seen a reason to get rid of them because they were very useful in rehearsals, end quote. The source continued and said, and I quote, that they, meaning Disney, had held on to these puppets called Disney Crew. Disney Crew was a drug awareness program that Disney used to have. Disney would use the Disney Crew puppets for the Playhouse Disney live on stage rehearsals. When Disney Jr. took over, Disney had then decided to use the old Bear in the Big Blue House puppets after the characters were retired from the show. The source continued to tell me that the rest of the info that they had about the remaining puppet characters and puppets was very sad, and it's more of what they think happened to the rest of the puppet characters. The source continued and had said, and I quote, that probably the majority of the character puppets were destroyed. End quote. And to be honest with you, when they told me this, I wanted to crawl up into a ball and cry. I'm partly kidding and partly not. These characters were part of my childhood, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you can agree they were a part of yours as well. So it was very heartbreaking to hear. The source continued and said that all of the bear costumes were also destroyed. Disney doesn't like to keep things. It becomes expensive for them to store things. End quote. The source also told me that the roly-poly-oly puppets were very large type puppets and that they were a nightmare to store. According to the source, you would have to put them in a rack that had clamps. They would also have to be stored a certain way, end quote. I asked the reliable source if the roly-poly-oly puppets were made of plastic or metal. I was told by the source that they were made of plastic and had a very hollow inside, end quote, which I can kind of see why if the roly-poly-oly puppets were the first to be destroyed. Not agreeing with it, but I can see why. Also, according to another knowledgeable source, they said that the handy-mandy tools still existed at Miller, but they assumed that everything else has either been put into storage or destroyed. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to check out my other puppet-related video on the screen. I think you'll enjoy it, and I'll see you over there.